Hello everyone. So I have purchased two clippers from Wahl. One is my Senior Reflection, and as you can see it lives up to its name. It is certainly reflective. And the other one is my Wahl 5-star Magic Cilp with the Quick Connect. And so there's a lot of confusion as to whether or not the motors inside of them are V5000 or V9000, and I'm also curious as to whether or not the case cover can be interchanged with other products within their group. So this one is a 5-star and this one is a Sterling, and so those are two separate product lines that they have. There's also a Wahl Pro. And so what I'm theorizing is that they're all basically the same, that they just have different outsides. And so what I want to do is see if I can take these apart and see, number one, if the motors on these are the same, see if I can see any differences between the two. Also, I want to see if these are interchangeable because I'm not exactly a big fan of the way that this looks. It seems to me like what they tried to do is come up with something that kind of resembles the Senior Reflection. You can see that there's it's a thick casing on the bottom here, but this one's plastic and really, kind of feels cheap. The top of it, I think that they just, basically wanted to put some chrome on there to kind of make it look nicer. There are some advantages to each side. You have with the metal casing, you're going to have durability. With the plastic one, it's not going to be so much with the durable side, but with the heat, this one is going to dissipate the heat much greater than this one. And obviously, if you ever have any kind of electrical issues with the cord, this one may become an issue where this one's going to insulate you a little bit more. And so the last piece is that this is fairly thick and has a little bit more weight to it. So if weight is a concern for you, you might want to look at maybe the just the regular Seniors instead of the Senior Reflection. I wanted to have something that was going to be durable and last. So I wanted to make sure that before I open these up that they are not plugged in. And so you want to make sure that that's done. I watched a guy on YouTube the other night where he actually told everybody to do that, but then he plugged it in while the whole case was open and he stuck his hand in it. And I thought, wow, that really kind of defeats the purpose of warning everybody. So please be sure that before you do this that you actually unplug your device. So we want to go ahead and start here and see if we can't get this one undone. And make sure that when you're doing this that you're not using a screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver that's been rounded out. You don't want to strip these and then not be able to do any kind of repair to them. That would really be kind of disastrous. And from my standpoint, these are brand new, so I really don't want to damage something that's brand new. So you can see this one's done, and that just lifts right off of there. So we'll bring this up so you can see. And for the corded ones, this is where you would replace the cord, and it comes down through here. So, even if this device were to, get messed, or this cord would get messed up, I can still come back and put a cord on it. So I do like the possibility to just replace out the cord, but if the connector itself gets damaged, if you drop this or whatnot, what are you going to do to get that connected? So this is the device, and I've noticed that with other devices that the difference is up here on that bar. So I want to be careful not to stick my hands on there. It is electrical components and you don't want to get that on you. And you also don't want to get the oil from your hands onto that device. So on this one, it's a lot tighter to get off of here. So I'm really having to put a lot of pressure on here to get this out. So again, you want to be very careful that you're not stripping your screws. So these are coming out. Just takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of care, and we're good. So I'm going to switch sides over here since I'm right-handed. I suspect that because these screws have been chromed, that they're probably a little bit more difficult to work with. But that is also the difference that you're getting when you pay a little bit extra with this device versus the other devices, like the Magic Cilp. There is a pretty steep curve with the pricing on that. I think my reflections are probably in the neighborhood of $30 more expensive. So I would expect to get a little bit more for my money. So you can see this is not cooperating on coming out. There we go. And I'm sure that I have voided the warranty, but I do know that the product is a pretty good product, and I'm not really concerned about having to return the device anytime soon. Alright, so we've taken these out, and you can see that these are definitely different screws. The one is chrome, and then the other one is just regular cheap metal, and you can see the distance of those are also different. So right off the bat, you know, if you're planning on making modifications to your cover, you probably want to understand that that is going to be a little bit different. So there's the reflections taken apart, and again you can see this is, if you wanted to replace the cord, this is where you're going to do that. Some different models have a smaller cord that goes to here, and then other ones go all the way up. So you want to make sure that when you're replacing a cable or a cord, that you want to get the right one. I would actually take it apart, see what you have, and then call the manufacturer of the, or not the manufacturer, but the place that you're going to purchase it from, and verify what it is that you're going to get. So this is the V9000, and this one I know for sure is a V9000. This one is the one that I'm not sure of, and from just my observation, it looks like they are both exactly the same. I do understand that some of the differences are with the shunt arm up here. And so you can see that this one has kind of a notch in it, and this one over here does not. So I can tell you that these are not exactly the same. We can definitely see that. It's a good thing I didn't pay as much money for this one, because that would be quite upsetting for me. So now the other part that I wanted to try is I wanted to see if the case cover was a universal fit. And so from first blush, they do look pretty much like they would fit on anything. So let's have a try and we'll see. So I'm looking at this and it really doesn't seem to mesh up very well. I could probably force this thing to go on there, but I'm noticing some slight differences. So I'm noticing now that the edge here is quite a bit longer actually. So my first impressions was off quite a bit. You can see that that's a sizable, it's at least an 1/8 of an inch difference right there. So that is certainly going to make a difference on whether or not that would fit. And I'm also noticing that on my Magic Cilp there's a side here that is not on my reflection. So it may be that you can take the reflection one and put it onto your Magic Cilp, but your Magic Cilp is not going to go on the reflection. So I'm not really going to pry that or try to force that to come on here. You know, there's no need for me to do that, but it will tell you what I can tell you is if you did some modifications, getting that piece out of there, this would actually fit. So you know, if you wanted to switch out just to have a different case, you can do that. But you know, there are some differences, obviously, that besides that this is just a metal case. So hopefully you found this to be informative, and again, please make sure that before you do any type of opening, that you unplug this and you leave it unplugged. I would hate to see somebody get hurt in the process of doing this. So if you like the video, let me know. Have a good day.